I'm making this video as somebody who does not live currently in the United States, and I'm reacting to not just the one, but both terror attacks that happened in New Orleans and Las Vegas on January 1st, 2025, just a few days ago. Because I've been asked by a few folks like, hey, what's your take? And at first I thought, what does it matter? But at the same time, I get it. From a now outside perspective looking back in, I guess people just want to know, like, how does an expat see this? How does somebody living abroad see this? Let me start with this. I mean, I've been on Bourbon Street. I've been on the Vegas Strip. My heart goes out to everybody that was impacted in, especially New Orleans. In Vegas, it was only the one guy who did it, thankfully, and some people were injured, but they seem to be okay. But to all those families whose relatives or loved ones, probably younger folks, just made a trip to Bourbon Street. We're going to New Orleans. I mean, I did that when I was 22, 23, and now gone because of just terrible timing, wrong place, wrong time, and some guy had an idea that this was the right thing to do. Whew. And for all of those that were injured, I wish them a speedy physical recovery. Emotionally, I can't even imagine how long that will take to unpack, but I truly wish them the best. It sounds cliche, I know, like thoughts and prayers, but it feels irresponsible of me not to say that to start, and I truly believe and feel that in my bones. Look, the low-hanging fruit for this episode, for what I'm doing here, would be, look, this sort of stuff doesn't happen in places like the Dominican Republic. Mass shootings, school shootings, terror attacks, all of that stuff. It just doesn't happen. But that's not where I want to focus this video. I think that's a given. If you watch any expat channel, whether they're in France or Jamaica or the Dominican Republic, they talk about, look, is there crime? Of course, but it's not this random crime. It's not trucks barreling through intentionally trying to kill people. Are there accidents? Tragic ones, of course. But you don't have that sense of fear sending your kids to school and so on and so forth. But where I want to focus more, and I think about from this channel's perspective, like, how do I add the most value to all of you? I want to focus on you and maybe your reaction to this and where I think the right way to think about this is and the wrong way to think about this is. It's really easy and tempting to see an event like that and instantly go, I got to get out of here. And for the majority of you, what I would say to you is, don't do that. Don't quit and do all the things and move abroad, at least not yet. Let me tell you this quick story to set the context around it. When I worked for Progressive Insurance, I was there a total of 21 years. 17 years in, I was promoted to my dream job, and it took me from Boston to Michigan, and it was a big boy job. It was an executive position, $400,000 or $500,000 a year in total compensation, stock grants, equity, all of it. Bonuses in the near six figures, if not in the six figures. It was a good gig, made a lot of money. But within 3 months of making that move for my dream job, I realized I didn't do the right thing. Because years before, I had the instinct or the feeling that something just wasn't feeling aligned for me anymore with my job. And I thought it was that I was underemployed. Like, well, yeah, I need to get to that next level where my skills and abilities truly are compensated for. And once I'm there, like, that's it. I'm just disgruntled because I'm more talented than the level that I'm at. So once I get that job, I'll be happy. Completely wrong. In fact, the job only revealed for me that happiness was not in the position. Happiness was in the fact that I needed to do something different with my life because the career that I was on, I had a great career, no hate for Progressive or anything, but that career path no longer served who I was. Now, to boot, when I moved to Michigan, I had an absolutely terrible boss, and she and I just did not see eye to eye. I mean, we butted heads all the time. And when you're not the boss and you're butting heads with the boss, like, you're at a severe disadvantage. She's got all the cards. She's the boss. But as I went through that first year, I remember toward the end of it thinking, you know what? The hell with this. I'm just gonna quit. And it would have felt really good to just bust those doors open and walk out and be done with it. Just shed all of it back in 2018. But I would have been making a crucial mistake. And the one I don't want you to make in the wake of all of what you've heard about with New Orleans and Las Vegas and what a lot of people are saying, maybe a tough few years depending on what you believe out there in the media. And that is, I would have been running from something. Instead, what I ended up doing was I started investing in real estate. Real estate led me to building a brand in the real estate niche. Brand led to podcast. Podcast led to content on social media. At a certain point, I built a business, a membership community, and then I proved that concept by being paid for members to join that community. Wasn't a ton, wasn't enough for me to quit my job. Not the amount I was making in the beginning. You're reinvesting all the money and there's not a lot coming in. But I knew that there was potential here if I was able to dedicate more time. The other thing I did was I made sure I had some savings. And I saved $120,000 to be able to quit and walk away and have a burn account, if you will. So between the $120,000, the proof of concept on the business that I had built, which was virtual, I could do it from anywhere, and this belief that if I just dedicate more time, I could absolutely blow this up, I got to a point in 2021 where it was the right time to quit. Because now I'm not running away from anything, I was running towards something. And those that I see that quit a job and they're all excited, but they end up going back 3, 6, 9 months later, almost every time they were running away from it. It was premature. They didn't want to take the time to build something while they had their job. They thought, I'm going to quit the job and I'll have all the time in the world to build something from ground up. I would say, do the opposite. Build it while you have your day job. So the reaction I would say that is more healthy, more sustainable for you if you're like, look, I do want to move abroad. I want to get out of here. I've wanted to move to the Dominican Republic or wherever for a long time, and this is just hurrying that up for me. Well, then let this spur this type of action. Not sell everything and move, but what do I need to do? What skills do I need to learn? What remote job do I need to apply for? Decide, whatever it is. Is it Amazon FBA? Is it personal branding? Is it a remote position with a company, a corporation where you can work anywhere? Whatever it is, decide and then go all in. And I mean all in. Too many people message me like,
oh, I've applied for remote jobs and there's nothing out there right now.
And my response is always like, what do you mean you applied for remote jobs? Like, give me the number. And it's usually like 3 or 5 or 10 or 15. Like, that's cute. How about 200? How about 500? How about you increase the chances, massive action, of you finding the one diamond in the rough that you can get the job in order to move abroad? Or if you're building a business, often what happens is people see like,
oh my God, Amazon, I could just do this and sell this product. I see these guys all doing it. They're making like $12,000 a month. Here we go. I'm gonna buy the course for $100 and I'm off to the races.
And then reality sets in and it's not that easy and it takes more time and energy and effort. But what most people do is they say, oh, it doesn't work. They don't look and see like, okay, but what does work? And where can I double down? And they lose a little money and then they try it again and then they start to make money. Those that actually push through, massive action. That's what I hope this event does for you if your ambition is to move abroad. Not sell it all and move abroad because you think you're ready and you'll figure it out. No. Start the side hustle, find the remote job, do the work, lay the groundwork for you to be able to walk away, save a year's worth of income. All of those things are the healthy way to internalize this as an expat who did move abroad. Now look, there are some exceptions to this. Like you might be ready now. Like you've got a spouse that works and can work remotely and their income can cover your expenses. Freaking move. Let's go. Come on down. If you already have the business or the remote ability with your job to move, like, okay, maybe this event does just say, all right, that's it. We're going to do it. It's scary. It's overwhelming, but we're going to do it. Your job, if you just had one conversation, might let you go fully remote. Sure, make the move. You don't have any kids? Psh, do whatever you want. I'll never, ever, ever understand people who don't have kids saying it's too risky. Like, are you out of your mind? Anybody with kids watching right now would say to you, like, you have no idea. You don't know what it is to be busy. You don't know what it is to have no money. You have no idea how expensive and emotionally draining children are. Can you tell right now that my kids have been... Anyway, absent those circumstances, don't just move. Build the thing that's gonna get you to move. And don't tell me, well, I'm a truck driver. I don't have any of this stuff. Go learn it. People go to school and go to college and learn new skills, right? Buy the course, join the community, do whatever it is. Do a bunch of YouTube videos and learn the shit. You can do it if you actually commit to it. It's like me with Spanish. I gotta just do it. I haven't done it and it's on me. I'm not blaming the world for it being too hard. It's my problem. But just trust me. If you run towards something, it will absolutely increase the chance of it sustaining 10, 20-fold. And whatever you do choose to do, it will be 10 times harder than you realize it is. Guaranteed. But those who push through understand this fact. The harder it is, the more rewarding it will be on the back end. Listen, I've been doing these consulting calls lately that I thought would just be like, hey, if somebody wants to, like, do it. But I've really enjoyed helping people understand the ins and the outs of what it is to live here and giving them like the stuff I can't say publicly because it could be disparaging about whatever it might be, developers, you name it. Or just giving them contacts that I trust that can save them a lot of money. I had one guy tell me that he was being charged like 10 grand for an insurance policy, almost the same one that I got for $3,500. So Here's my agent. That was worth his paid consultation, I hope. But I'm gonna push it a little bit more if you wanna do it. I don't have a ton of time that I put out there for it, so space is limited. But if you want, down below, click the link and you can book a time. It is paid. If it's too much, don't pay it. I don't care. But if it's something you think you would get value from, I'd be happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and talk through your move and add as much value as I possibly can to you one-on-one. Sending my best to everybody. I hope none of you were impacted by either of these events in New Orleans or Las Vegas. I hope we don't see any more this year. I know that's wishful thinking, but cheers to you for a great 2025. Don't let this stop you. Make this the best possible year for you. Go out there and do the one thing that you haven't been doing to get the thing that you want more than anything. And before you know it, maybe we're hanging and having a drink somewhere down here in the Dominican Republic. Cheers, everyone.